Alrighty then. Looks like I need more light. There we go. All right. Good morning, Father. Good morning, Margaret. Oh, what do you guys? What is the light doing today? Great. Come on. I guess I'm going to have a shadow up there. Oh well, not much I can do about it now. Okay. I wasn't. Was running around. Had some family things going on behind the scenes. So, anyway. So, hello, Tanya. Hello, Debbie. Good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Let me bump this over a little bit. All right. Yeah. Welcome. Sorry, I'm going to be looking around so I can get a couple of things out of the way. I don't need that anymore. I need this. So I can rego. We can rego. We can recap. Anyway. Yeah. So hopefully everybody's doing well. What an interesting week, and in a lot of aspects, I'm sure that most of you can agree to that. Uh, Weather, I think, has been quite interesting for a lot of us. so, um, so hopefully everybody that did experience some weather, Debbie, I know you get your own little set of things on the East Coast, so we obviously you can't relate too well, but that's okay, Debbie. I mean, we'll share what we can with you, just so you can appreciate the fact that you're out there and not over here. Sorry, I'm picking on you, Debbie. Yeah. um, so the shadow knows, right? Hey, Nikki, good morning. Yeah, let the harassment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hello. I'll be prepared for what I may say. Oh, thanks, Debbie. We now have a frosting on top of that. I know, Margaret. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I mean, obviously, for some, and like Nikki being in South Africa and stuff. I mean, yeah, this was a doozy of a week for weather and stuff. And they were talking about it last week that it was going to be pretty intense, and then it was hilarious with the ice storm that we got. Now I should say I'm saying we because luckily enough, the only ice storm that that's okay. I can take it. I know you can. That's why I know I can do that. I can give you a little bit and you'll be fine. You've been through a lot, Debbie. I mean, everything you post and stuff, you've been through a lot. So you are tough. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I mean and a lot of you, especially, basically not too bad, from the Monroe area, and north, but I know it got worse, the more north people lived and stuff. But yeah, it was really crazy because I mean, I work in Dearborn, so the hey, Jennifer, good morning. The interesting thing about was that I knew at home, temperature wise, we were going to make it. We were just going to be seeing rain, which is what they were calling for. And then I knew basically right around work, was going to be where that cutoff line was, where things were going to freeze. So that was always the concern, was when it was going to start hitting, can I get home safely? That was my big thing. Hey, Tom, good morning. Hey, Carrie, good morning. So Margaret, there's a weak polar vortex. That's part of the reason why we're having such a crazy wet. Well, I mean, but even then, fast forward, and we'll back up to the ice thing real quick, but fast forward to last night, I get an alert on my one, because I have several weather apps, but I get the alert and I'm like, why am I getting an alert? I'm like, I kind of remembered, from a few days ago what things were going to be looking like this weekend. So I pull up, hey Chad, good morning, sir. I pull up, the app, and all I see is not huge, but I see this big snowstorm, rolling through, and I'm like, what? What's happening? I'm like, why is there snow? I'm like, I don't remember saying snow was going to be hitting, especially Friday night. Well, sure enough, I know I posted this morning, and maybe some of you saw it, but I didn't really capture too much on the ground level. I was trying to point up in the clouds because the sunrise and everything. But I did take a few photos before the show that I'm gonna. I may post them later because that's the thing is, okay, so we got probably about an inch and a half last night, and I think the hilarious thing is where I live, it's going to skyrocket to 42. So all this snow that we got overnight is going to be long gone by this afternoon. So it is hilarious to sit there and the concept of everybody, and I know a lot of my Michigan friends say this a lot, because they post it all the time, is even this week, you could go from, you know, warmer temperatures to ice and snowstorms, all in a matter of days. And it's hilarious. And I get it because I mean, I've been, back and forth to Michigan, almost daily, since 2000. So I get it. So I'm pretty much a part of Michigan, is living here in Ohio too. But it was it was so interesting, uh and it is true because you really could. But that's okay. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's the weather. I've talked to people multiple times because some people are just like, this is crazy and stuff, and I'm like, well, I have to keep reminding people. I said, everybody forgets that what we dealt with in the fall is still what we're dealing with now. So hey, Sharon, good morning. So we this abnormal stuff is normal for what we dealt with. Again, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but we had a La Nina in the fall. Well, that carries into our winter season. So when it does that, it raises the temperatures just a little bit, which, depending on where you fall in the maps, for us, like even just, southeastern Michigan, northwestern Ohio, it was saying slightly above average, which, means you're not going to be seeing stuff. Doesn't mean all the cold stuff, doesn't mean, you're not going to see snow and stuff. We do, but we're just seeing that. So the idea, hey, Jill, good morning. Um, the, 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 the whole thing is normal right now. And so normal in the sense that this is what we're experiencing. Exactly. So we're seeing these warmer days. We're not seeing the brutal cold weather that we typically do. January, February are usually the worst, of our winters here in the Midwest. So yeah, it was interesting. So like I said, it's been an interesting week. Debbie, we're supposed to get the snow this afternoon. Temps dropped like crazy again. It's always hard for accumulation next to. Absolutely, Debbie, absolutely. I know, like when you've posted some of the ones that you have gotten snow, it's like, wow, you can't picture that. I mean, you think of the ocean, you're almost thinking tropics, or like Florida, or Southern California or something, or Hawaii. So it's interesting to see the New England states, and then you got that comparison of like, here's snow on the ground, but then there's the wild ocean. Yesterday was 26, but beautiful and sunny. Could be outside working and not be in a cold Michigan. Yeah, Chad, I know. I mean, right now, I mean, they're calling for me to even be cloudy, but right now it's mostly sunny right now. So I mean, it's going to be, hey, Kristen, good morning. So yeah, it's interesting. Our weather forecaster predicted we get some kind of right. That's exactly it. But let me back up real quickly. So hopefully, if there's anybody that is watching or that watches this back, hopefully, if you were dealing with power outages, hopefully that's back on by now, because I know a lot of reports for the DTE, consumers, customers, a lot of them are saying, maybe not until Monday and stuff. So obviously that's pretty intense, if you go that many days, 3, 4, or 5 days, without power. So hopefully everybody that's watching or watches this back is in good shape, and they have they're back on. So I know a lot of people have. A few people that I keep tabs with regularly have gotten their power back. So they've at least gotten to the weekend in better shape. So good for them, because yeah, I can't imagine, in these whether it's really cold or warms up. I mean, I've seen people bundled up in some photos on that have been posted. But I do want to share, because you guys, like I said, where I live, near the Ohio Michigan border, and I tell people this, and I'm going to say it again, because it's so funny, because a coworker of mine, knows where I live. He's been down this way, and he's always paid attention to when I've told him. I said I basically live in the Bermuda Triangle of weather, because it's just unusual. And regardless of what they say, regardless of the predictions, which I think is funny, what my dad said, they predicted some kind of weather. That's some is a very accurate word. Some, because it's more like if. It's so hilarious. My coworker, he had to come over to my building because I was stuck for a few days this week in mine. He comes over and he goes, wow. He goes, you don't lie about this stuff. He goes, he shows me the radar, and he shows how the rain and stuff was just literally parting around where I live. There's this gap. And I said, see, I'm not lying. the weather goes up and over us or goes underneath us, and then occasionally, little bit, but I mean, it doesn't mean we haven't gotten our share of hits, but majority of the time, it's so hilarious to watch this weather go over the top or right underneath us, or pass over us, which is nothing, and then just slam like Cleveland and stuff like that real bad, which that's pretty normal for them, but like affects, issues, but legit Indian Mountain, right, Chad? But the weather only happens at your house, not the whole mid. Well, right. Hey, Lashonda. But yeah, I mean, it's just pretty wild to see. But like I said, people, you know, think that it's going to be bad, and I'm like, not maybe for me, maybe for you, but not for me. So sometimes I kind of enjoy where I live because it really, I just kind of look at it and laugh half the time and be like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get anything. And so many times, nothing or hardly anything. So anyway, so yeah, I'm hoping everybody that was affected by this week's ice storms and stuff is doing better. I know some people are still thawing out because a lot of that ice was pretty thick. So hopefully that, hopefully by the end of the weekend, if most or if not all of it is helped you out, or at least melted, so that way you can get out, do your normal things that you need to do. Let's see, they should refer to it as a mental health corridor, Mother Nature versus schizophrenia. Yeah, could be. The drain ditches were full of other day. Right. I know they were, Dad, that was interesting because when I came home, what was it? Wednesday was the ice storm, and it was, raining real bad. When I remember once right before you cross the border, there's a little bit of you kind of go over a little bridge, but it's real low. It's not like, up, like an overpass kind of situation, but it connects, with into Lake Erie and things. And it was almost all the way to the roads, which was crazy. I'm like, wow, another full day of that. It may be peaking the roads and stuff, but yeah, it was crazy seeing how high that was. And then yesterday, I think Thursday or whatever, then it was like subsided. So it's no big deal. Yeah, the St. Pete Mounds protect from hurricanes. It's a legit thing. Your area could have protected spell. Well, Chad, you never know, buddy. I mean, I joke about it because I think it's great, and funny. But I remember too as a kid that I never, obviously as a kid you don't pay attention too much, other than back then us old people used to, we didn't have all the electronics, and so we actually wanted to go outside and play, get with the neighbor kids and everything and friends and stuff. So everybody was outside. So whenever even if you heard that there was going to be possibly rain, it was like, oh no, don't rain. We just want to be outside. So, yeah, Chad, I mean, I've never actually dug into it to see if there really is some type of protection or anything like that, or wall of to block things. But it's okay though. I know, Margaret, but I still can say it. At least I know I was one of the last generations to to enjoy being outside constantly. But so yeah. So yeah, again, hopefully everybody's doing okay and stuff. Hopefully you guys can tell by now, you can see that I've got a lot more explosive energy than I have over the previous like 2 to almost 3 weeks. I mentioned it on last week's show that I and see this is great. There it is, Kristen. Woo! I I definitely feel like I've gotten back, on my feet again. I mentioned last week, and this is the crazy part about it. So I, didn't get any of the information like I was hoping to for last week. And so I just kind of went with it, which is why this is why sometimes when I'm not totally sure, sometimes I want to wait until I get this information, because here it is. This is a prime example of I let some assumptions happen. And here it is. I'm now going to tell you that my assumptions were wrong. So when I said what I said last week, which I'm going to repeat, this is why sometimes I wait until everything is validated or confirmed or whatever, 100% true, because then I could be like, yep. And now I got to be like, nope, not really. So yeah. So that's why sometimes like I'll hint at something, because then get your appetites wet, because I mean, curiosity is cool. But then when it doesn't, happen, or, confirm or whatever, then I'm like, oh man. So, so that's why sometimes I'm quiet a lot about certain things. So, well, I mean, Harold is my step. Well, that's right, Chad. That's right. I just spoke to him on the phone yesterday afternoon after work. So I can't say what we were discussing, but definitely was paranormal. Yeah, you know what to do when you assume. All right. Um, but yeah, no, so I talked about the fact that, why I wasn't feeling so great, why, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of things, or I haven't been able to focus on things, is because I thought, well, and it's not saying that I haven't or wasn't, um, with who was probably the wrong thought. So I was going through a lot of the similar symptoms of upgrades, and it was all the same from what I remember how intense it was, in 2021. And that was like, close to almost 6 months of that, which was, more intense. Hey, Ron, good morning. So I, I was, under the assumption that it was because of the fact that we had a session with the unknowns prior, a couple weeks prior, and was looking for, because they were going to help with, new things, and everybody's individual. So they were going to work with each person that wanted it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm game for that. Anything to be downloaded or upgraded or helped or, assist, that I'm in. And it was crazy because then literally that next week it all, started, and I was going through all the same things. And I was just like, no, Dad, it's not. Nice try. but, um, but yeah, it was what I assumed was them, because of the fact that that was my fault, is that because that's what I was asking for, not realizing that I've always been asking for things. I've been always putting intentions out there. So it was just natural to assume it was them that were causing everything. Even when I asked my own guides briefly, towards the end of the first week, or yeah, towards the end of the first week or beginning of the second week, I even was just like, even though I was still kind of out of it, it was, my guides were said, yeah, you're getting some upgrades. So I'm like, but I didn't go deeper because I, was having trouble just focusing anyway. So then that's why I said I tried to back it up and pin it on the unknowns, and it really wasn't. So because Michelle finally had a session this past Tuesday with them, and lo and behold, it was like, well, no, but we can help him with what he was going through. And, there's some energetic things and the way things are aligned and stuff, and a little bit more detailed information. But, so I have to get with them to kind of figure out what was messed up, or what's not um, downloading, or I should say installing. That's probably the better word, installing properly, for what I was receiving, which wasn't from them, but they're willing to help me get everything aligned. So, so that's when I was like, oh man. So I'm like, so I, there it was, and that's why I did say, I was like, well, I want to wait until I for sure. But then Saturday, show happened, and I really wanted to spit it out and be like, yep, it's definitely got to be this, and nope. And even then, I still need to find out who I was getting stuff from, which I think I do now, but I have to confirm it. But now that this past week, every day's gotten a little bit better for me, even though, work is still, kind of stressful and things at times, because it is, we're getting way more busy. A lot more people are showing up. So things are breaking, or people don't know how to use the equipment. So yeah, there's a lot more, going on. So when you're so used to like not having that many people around, and now you are, it's a whole different world again. It's like you're relearning what it was like before the pandemic. So, but yeah, so every day's gotten a little bit better. And after work, I took it upon myself to kind of jump back into something. I had a family member reach out to me and was just like, hey, can you do a healing on me? Now, I couldn't get in person with them, so I said, well, let's just do the remote. So, not that I, need, hey, Della, not that I need, to be concerned, like, okay, it's been weeks and weeks, that I haven't done anything. I mean, I've had a couple little, quick little messages from my guides and stuff like that, but I haven't really like done healing, and I haven't really done any readings or anything, because it's just, I've been so down that I just don't have the strength to do all of it, because of the upgrades and stuff. So, I went ahead and did this healing yesterday and, went really good. And felt good about it. The crazy thing is because I guess it's been so long, other than, the session was great, it kind of wiped me out. But not in a like pure exhaustion, but what it did is it was so relaxing, even though you're doing some work, but it was so relaxing that it definitely did. It calmed, calmed me down, which not that I was, racing, but um Della, it's actually going to be a recap, but what I do, the first part of the show is always just kind of talking about the week and sharing things that have been going on with me that may relate to something you may be going through or others are going through. And then usually about the halfway mark is when I kind of go in, but which I hold that because I'm just going to finish this thought and then we'll jump into it. So, but uh, but yeah, I was kind of amazed at how it was a good tiredness. Even though I work my day job and I'm up so early and stuff like that, and you toss and turn, you don't get a whole lot of sleep. However, you know, I guess it was such a real cool feeling. Now, what I'm curious is because with some of the upgrades and things that have happened in the past and what might be right now you know, is this going to be a cool thing? Is that when I get done with sessions, which it typically does, is you do what you need to do, whether it's a reading, whether it's a healing, and it's like you just whatever. But there was this kind of spiritual feeling that was very positive, and so it was neat to experience, even though I was hoping I had some other plans that I wanted to do last night. But I was just so relaxed and so calm, and it's really hard to describe, but it was just so nice and peaceful that I just didn't have it. Like I just wanted to just kind of sit there and float in a way, I just relax and and not be glued to anything. So that's what I did. I just kind of took it easy and just, I'm like, this is cool. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to pressure or put anything, because everything I was going to be doing was personal, and so it wasn't going to be anything else. But it definitely gave me an option of where I felt good, that it's like nice to kind of get out of what I was going through, and then now, kind of start easing back into things. Cause right. Kristen knows very well too, taking time to heal yourself with what she's saying. She knows that. She's an amazing reader herself and does so many great things too. And if you don't take those moments, and even though like the past couple of weeks I've had to put a lot of stuff on hold, but it's all for the better. It's not a hindrance. Sure, you're never quite sure. It's not like, when you're going to go to school, you have a start date and stuff. Sometimes on the spiritual path, when something needs to be, tweaked or upgraded or enhanced, it basically will show up when you kind of least expect, at least in my personal views of it. It's you keep throwing it out there, and then it's like the universe finally does align, and then it just like boom, we're good to go. Yep. And so sometimes it's a little sudden, like I really didn't expect, to go down for, little over 2 weeks. I didn't expect that. Even though I threw the intentions out there but I never knew how long it was going to last anyway. So Chad Universe gifted me the tarot deck in the Florida last week. Felt like I pulled one in the store, actually find it in the store next door. Was so new to the store I couldn't find it in the system. No price, no charge. Enjoy. Weird how that. Oh my God, Chad, that's amazing. Della's saying, I know I had a lot going on next weekend, going up to the market a lot, and anxiety going back to yeah. It's and for those of us that do this stuff, granted, I have to as much as I want to do all the spiritual things full time, I still have to kind of keep that job because it is kind of keeping up with the bills, and even then it's probably great because obviously if I was trying to do spiritual stuff, I was going to have to, force my way to keep going through that, which, it's not like you're not going to have a reading, it's just going to be more of a struggle to get the information or to do a healing. It's just, you got to put a little bit more energy into things, so to speak. So sometimes it's nice, but if I wasn't as tired from getting up so early for work, I obviously could, have couple sessions a night, after work and just be able to keep building that up. So, it is what it is. It's just how it is for each of us. We each have our own past. We're gonna keep going forward. So you should always be evolving, right? Your higher self will always find your soul purpose. Absolutely, Kristen. That's 100% true. 100% true. Um, Before I go on, I just wanted to say, which segues into this. Yeah, right, Dad. That would be nice. Well, and technically, you can throw that out there. They're not going to necessarily pay it, but yeah, cool. Thanks, Margaret. The I mean, you could throw it out there to where you can have that kind of situation where things, kind of happen, or more clients, or extra side stuff or whatever that might help, pay those bills in a way. So, um, but I so as we segue into what we're, really what this is about is, if you didn't see it or you can't see it in the titles and stuff like that, this is, my season 5 finale episode. Uh, I don't count how many episodes I'm going to do in a season. Basically, what I have done in the past is I I run a season up until that I can't do another show for a reason. And I have to say, Kansas City is still busy with the draft coming in April, going to fun, going back home, but a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah. Um, uh, because next Saturday there is no mid-morning show, which is why this was a perfect time to end season 5. Next weekend I will be in Ann Arbor all day Saturday, at the Pawtographs event. And I was going to have it, but was running around this morning a little bit more than I thought. But I'm going to be a vendor. I'll be doing readings all day. So if you are in the Ann Arbor area and you have your tickets or still want to get tickets, I will repost the flyer in there. Going to be weird not seeing you for the rest of the year. Why is that, Carrie? Is that me, or are you going to be on hiatus over the show? No, Dad. No, 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 no. This is just season. I'm just going to be off 1 week. Sorry, I guess maybe that didn't come. I didn't say that correctly, but yeah, no, I'm just going to be off 1 week and then I'll be back. Yeah, I try to do it to again. I try to build these seasons where I can go on a good run. Whether I'd like to get into double digits in episodes, and then if I get to like next weekend where I can't do a show, it's a perfect time to take that a break, because I'll be busy anyway. um, and then just regroup and then start season 6 the week after. So yeah, because I mean there's going to be some more things that Saturdays are going to be getting tighter. So even though sometimes if I'm only in the single episodes during a season and a weekend's off, I want to try to, and I say try, the bad word, but I want to try to at least record a show if I can. But if I can't, then we'll just skip it, but I'll still continue on, because again, I like to get into the double digits in a season before then I shut it down. And I've only done the seasons, just so I can kind of look back at things. Like I can look to see what I've done, which is kind of what I want to do too a little bit, is just kind of go over some of the episodes that I have done and just kind of highlight a few of them. Maybe some of you, would be curious to go back and look at those. So yeah, if you go to Adam the Black Swamp Medium page, you can click on videos. So it might not be in the first bar, but there's an arrow or more that you can click on. You hit videos and you can see all the videos I've ever done. And you can go back through and go back even deeper, because I've been doing this for a while. And again, the seasons don't really reflect the years. But yeah, I mean, I think I've been doing this for like 3 years now. Mid-morning medium chat. I think 3 years. I think I started doing this. It was either 18 or 19. I can't remember when I started doing this morning show. So yeah, it's like 3 or 4 years old that I've been doing this one. So, but yeah. So next weekend, if you guys are around or you want to go check out that event, it all goes to a great cause. Tim Miley, who puts that on, excuse me. Everything helps, go to a local humane center, and just helps all the animals out. So he donates a lot of money to there. He raises everything. And I know I will be donating. I'm going to take a portion of my earnings that day, and I'm going to be donating to them because again, it is a great cause. I haven't been to one in a while, and so this just worked out timing wise that it did. So yeah, so I'm going to be there next Saturday. And I will repost the flyer after the show. So if you guys are interested, or you just look up Pawtographs, you can get all the information and links to tickets and things like that. So, but yeah, let's see. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. I just want to see, just in case. Okay. But yeah. Oh, Margaret, no, wow. She actually paid attention to when I started the mid-morning show. Cool. Please, Tim, I'm sorry I couldn't go. Oh, no worries. No worries. Hey, I was still trying to get tickets. I'm still need to go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can make it, Dell. But like I said, so that's why, this is really the recap of season 5. And, we're going to be off, next weekend. And so that'll be cool. And so hopefully I get to see a lot of you there. And if not, no big deal. I mean, there's tons more great weather, Oh yeah, I believe that, Dell. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I know a lot of people that are in similar situations where they can't always get somebody to watch their pet, to get away. But yeah, excited that, I am excited that we're, wrapping up season 5 and, moving on to season 6, which will be cool. Yeah, I don't have any intentions of stopping this. I still have ambitions to still create another show, because of the weird upgrading stuff and a few other little things, work wise that have stressed me out. I haven't been able to focus on the at least the once a month evening show that'll happen. Where I'm only going to have a guest on. I still want to do that. I was working on names for a show, and then I kind of stopped because I wasn't liking what I was coming up with. And then, Dad, don't throw any suggestions in there because I know what you're going to say. So, but I've been running with a couple things, so I want to go through things again, and then still do that. I still want to get that in there because I want to do that show at least once a month. And like I said, just have one guest on, and we'll just have an evening. We're just going to kind of go back and forth and just have some fun. I mean, literally, truly the epitome of fun. So, so I still want to get that accomplished, hopefully soon. And other than that, yeah, I mean, I still had a couple topics that I never got to, from suggestions when we were, getting into the new year. So I still have a few of those that I can, ones we're just going back on. And so if you guys want to, in the comments here, or if you want to message me privately, let me know of some suggestions that you may want me to talk about. Again, I try to, for the first half of the show is always just kind of catching up on everything that's going on. And then the last half is, we kind of, we touch base on topics, we don't go deep because obviously some topics can really take a long time. So sure thing, Della. And yeah, so I mean, I got a few things we're going to do. And so I'm going to still use those, and we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun with the next one, and we'll see what happens. So let's see. Oh, Debbie's saying, but photos of Murray from Tim at Michigan Parent. Yeah, that's awesome. Ask my wife. She watches Adam's brother's dogs all the time. That's true, Dad. That's true. So yeah, so let me go through. Sorry, I keep drinking so quickly that it keeps splashing everywhere. But yeah, like I said, I just want to look over. I'm looking at my other screen just to kind of peek at some of the stuff that did happen, and just touch base. And again, maybe some of these will excite you that maybe you want to go back and check them out. And even then, you can go back to it and you can kind of get through at least 30 minutes or so of it, and that'll get you to more of that topic if that's what you're curious about. So yeah, you could skip over the beginning things, but yeah. But I remember so the very first episode that I did do, and like I said, I'm not going to go through every single one, but just a couple of them that I want to highlight. Yeah, I do, Debbie, right? or do I need to shave? Because a lot of you saw the photos that I posted last Sunday, and some of you saw them during the week. You guys saw an old photo of me with Christopher and Philip back in November of 2017. Was the first photo I had with both of them together. So you guys got to see what No Beard looks like, which was hilarious. Everybody was so, I couldn't believe that one photo got so many hits, so many comments. And I was like, wow. And that's why I put that one dead last in that collage of photos of them because I just didn't think it was that important. But sure enough, that's the one that got the most hits out of everything. So that was awesome. So yes, if you're ever curious of what I don't look like, even though it was 2017, that was literally a couple months from when I started to grow the beard. So if you go, I got one from living 2010. That's cool though. Yeah. And I've been around them so much over the last few years. I mean, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but for a few things, with the new movie that's coming out. Yeah, who was that person between? That's right, exactly, Dad. That's what a lot of people are like. Oh my gosh, that's you. And then, yeah, like Debbie, she's just like, did you shave? I'm like, no, it's still here, still very much here. So that was great. But yeah, but anyway, uh, but yeah, some of the shows that were fun to do, and especially that one, the first one I did of season 5, which was our Old Mill Parafest recap, plus it was because that was the month I missed a couple weeks in a row. So not only did I did the Old Mill Parafest, then I was on vacation with the high school marching band. We took a trip to Florida, and we did Disney, and we got to march in the parade and things. So and got to obviously have fun and stuff. So that was a cool episode because there was so much information packed in that show, and it looks like I did it about an hour and 18 minutes. You can see how long that one ran, but that was a fun one because again, I got the highlight weeks of missing shows because of that. So that was fun. Let's see, other than that, it looks like I did one about your ego versus yourself. Let's see. Then I did, like I said, normally this isn't the morning show isn't typically a guest, show, but once in a while it's kind of fun to bring somebody on, especially if they're willing to wake up early for me. Because I know a lot of you, some of you are morning people, or at least you're maybe rolling out of bed, and we sit there and have some fun. And like that's the whole point, is just we can all wake up together, kind of start our days together, drink a favorite beverage, have some breakfast and stuff, and just kind of talk about random things or touch on things. And even then it kind of gets you going. So you should start going to Black Swamp Bearded Me. Debbie. I've got too many business cards and logos that already that would, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say, I don't want to get myself in trouble because of you said the first word in there, somebody's going to probably take that the wrong way. And so we'll just keep it the way it is. I'm not, that stuff doesn't bother me, but I'm just like, somebody's going to like throw a stink up, and that's just, how that day people are nowadays. Gosh, you can't say anything without something being twisted the wrong way, even though we know what it would mean, but yeah. So, but back in December, I got to do, like I said, normally it wasn't a guest show, but I did have a guest that the Gray Swamp Beard. Well, yeah, that you could do that. I can't get in trouble for saying gray, because I guarantee if I said black, everybody would be like looking at my photos and stuff like, he ain't black. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I know, see, Debbie. see, I knew it. Somebody's getting offended. Like, gosh. But yeah, the one person I did have on, which is kind of a good thing to mention real quick too, is I got to sit side by side at her home, and it was Jennifer Passavant. She's been a great friend of mine for a number of years, really since 2020. Right before the whole craziness that happened. And so this was the first time seeing her in person, since 2020. So it was nice to not go 3 years in between. So I'm offended by swamp. It's so dry. So great. See, there we go. I'm telling you, now my cousin's jumping in on it. I swear. but seriously though, it was great that I could do a show side by side with Jen, and she's always had great observations, great knowledge of things that I still just can't wrap my head around. So it's been nice to reach out to her about stuff, or to like this. I've had her on 2 or 3 times now, and so yeah, exactly, Margaret. So I've had Jen on a few times because again, she's just, and I've been on, the show that they do, here and there, the Hearts of Change Collective. I need more coffee. I could be smart, right, Della? I'm on cup 3, so I mean, I'm doing great. Um, but I do want to do throw out there, and if anybody saw my post from last night, uh, Jen was in a car accident last night. She was actually going on a sort of a weekend getaway with meeting up with friends, and unfortunately, yeah, um, got into a car accident, because I was sending her numbers. That's the one thing that Jen and I do a lot throughout the day, is one of us or both of us are, throwing the combinations of things. And so she she was, liking my numbers that I sent her. And it's just like, hey, I can't really talk right now. I got into a car accident, and I was just like, oh my God, so I'm like, freaking out inside. And I can't remember what I said, something back, but I wasn't going to be, but she immediately said, I'm okay. I said, but the car is totaled. And so I was just like, oh my gosh. And um, so I did a couple more messages, but I was trying not to be too, we all are, we're all in a mindset of where we want to, know all the facts and know all the details and stuff like that. And so I wanted to, and I haven't talked to her about this yet. So if she sees this, and even for any of you, there's something to try. And I said that, yes, not that it's an excuse, or but what I mean is, you know, she went through something traumatic, right? And you don't always know how people are going to react to a situation, especially something like that. Um, so the last thing I personally wanted to do was sit there and have her relive what just happened. And so I purposely didn't ask specifics, because my concern was, how is she? All that other stuff I'll learn about, but I did not want to overdo it and make her, get upset. I mean, not that she probably would be, but it's something I've been thinking about for a while now. Is, we're so used to doing that. It's like, well, what happened? And it's like, and then you could see the reactions of the people that you're trying to get this information from, and you could see that might not be in that right frame of mind to share that, or ready to share that. I know I've been in those situations where people have asked specific. It's like, I just don't feel comfortable just saying anything yet. I just need a moment. So I've been trying to do that slowly, bringing that, that idea of, worry about the person. Don't worry about all the other stuff just yet. You're going to find out about it. I am going to ask her what happened. And but I want to try to shift the way we, and maybe help, preach to all of you to look at those situations a little bit different. Um, you know, yeah, we want to know what's going on, but at the same time, let's focus on the person. Let's make sure they're okay. If they want to share, then they will. If eventually, whether it's a day or two later or something like that, and be like, well, okay, I hope you're okay. I hope you're still doing good. Is there any, can you tell me what happened? But I don't want to do that real quickly, and I think that's something that might be helpful. I mean, you know, you have to remember, I mean, people talk about all the time about mental health and everything. Um, think about that. Are you, and I'm not saying this is true or not, but what I'm thinking is, are you hindering their recovery in whatever situation they're going through? Are you making their healing process take longer because you're sitting there wanting all these details because we're curious? That's just human nature. But we stopped focusing on the person themselves, right? So let's focus on the person. Let's really make sure they're okay. And when they are in a better state of mind, and however long that takes, then you can start asking some, for details like this. I want to know what happened to Jen. Did somebody hit her? Did she hit somebody? I mean, all I know is she's okay. I haven't talked to her this morning yet because I'm sure she's probably sore if, for whatever. And I mean, I'm going to hit her up. I am going to be asking her, how she's doing today and focused on her. And because again, it's crazy that, we all go through certain situations. And let's see. Yeah, and so like Della, okay, it's been a year from Dave, my son passing. These are so-called people keep asking, right? And you could, that's see, Della, thank you for even sharing this because it's difficult on the situations that you go through. My thing would be to focus on Della personally. How are you? How's your day going? Yes, it doesn't mean that I don't care about what happened. All it means is that I'm focusing on the person themselves. And that is that one-on-one moment. That is that, you know, giving them that sense of relief that I don't have to sit there and provide all these details. And even then, Della, I think, we have talked a little bit. I haven't asked for a lot of specifics and things, and because I'm curious, on you, are you okay and stuff. And I think a lot of you, I've done that. You don't always see me asking. It might seem weird. Why isn't he asking me? Or like he's really kind of cold. He doesn't want to like. That's because we're used to it. But again, we all go through crazy situations and not everybody's willing to share. So think about that. If you know people and some people are emotional, so you really know how they are. So to try to get them to say anything, no. And interesting enough is I'm not going to share the details of it, but I was dealing with a family situation before the show, very emotional state. And it was, in some regards, it wasn't the end of the world and it's not going to change a whole lot, but I had to sit there and talk to somebody and I had to get them to think a different way about stuff. And it's interesting that this is how it kind of segues in. And this is why sometimes I like to shoot from the hip on a lot of my shows, because moments like that just happen. And here, as I'm talking about like what happened with Jen. So these are just different ways of viewing things. Um, so think about that next time, and if you like Della, I mean, and anybody else, if you are not ready to talk about something, just be courteous back and just be like, you know what? Can you give me a little bit more time? Can you give me a little bit more time so that way I can just collect myself, And even if it's been like in Della's situation, a year that she's lost her son, uh, if she needs more time, she needs more time, or whoever, you know what I mean? You'll have those moments where you feel like you can share information or finally tell you know what's going on. But let's think about this, and like I said, hopefully maybe this would help you guys, when you are reaching out to other loved ones and friends and things, be there for them. You know what I mean? So, right, Della. Um, let's see. I find people share if and when they're ready. Right, Debbie, absolutely, 100%. Um, Della, yeah, see, I'm as far as taking like they found 2 birthday cards he gave him. I will message you the cards and start. Yeah, I get Della. Yeah, I mean it's those situations. He was a part of you, and still is, from a physical standpoint, yeah, not there, but he's definitely there in spirit. There's no doubt about that. Um, so you're good, Della. So yeah, yeah, I will be following up with Jen, and if she's okay with me sharing, just quick little statuses, I definitely will do that in some posts throughout the weekend, and I'll let you know. And even then, I was willing to drive down there and just keep her company because like her friend was going to drive to pick her up and still at least stay at least one night, maybe not the whole 2 nights, but at least stay one night. So, but I was willing to go, and then she said she'd be okay. So. But I literally was getting ready to put my pants on and run out the door to be there, and I didn't care the fact that it was going to take me about an hour to get to where she was, and it wouldn't have mattered because she's great to me, and so I was willing to get to her regardless of what I felt like, how I felt like. I just wanted to be, with her, and that way she had a familiar face if she wanted it, and she said no, but I was willing, and I did. I think after she said no, I think I still didn't do anything else. I still kind of sat by my phone for like another half an hour, 45 minutes before then I was like, okay, she must be okay, to the point that she's really is not gonna have me come down. But I was I was ready to go. So I was gonna skip dinner and stuff. I was just gonna go. So but anyway, so yeah, so so I appreciate the comments, to her, and I'll definitely pass those along. So yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs on her, make sure she's doing okay, because obviously she's going to have to figure out a lot of things, and even then getting back home because she's not even close to home. So you're good, Della, you're good. I will. Yeah, I have this way of writing. I'm going back. You're okay. Yeah, everything's good. Um, yep. Gotcha. So yeah, but and then again, just some other things as we kind of where are we at 10:20. So yeah, we'll race to the end because I know there was a few weeks, but yeah, I did one. I remember in Christmas time. I did one about visiting loved ones. That was a cool one because I remember that was a big shift. Everybody was noticing that their loved ones, or they were noticing things that they remembered about their loved ones coming through, and it was that episode I talk about how they always say Halloween, the veil's real thin, but it's always interesting that here it is a couple months later, you got Christmas and so much more happens. And that was a good episode. And obviously we'll probably do that again next year, or excuse me, this year. We'll probably do another one because again, it'll just be fun to hear stories or to hear how once you get into December and you're getting closer to Christmas, which, so many people, so many families, have so many memories of Christmas and the holidays and things. And so it's so much love, and yes, there is stress because when you got to get everything set, food bought and presents and all that stuff, get that. But at the same time, when that's all happening, those special moments with all the loved ones, all the friends and stuff, regardless of if you're celebrating Christmas exactly or if you're selling a different, in a different belief system, that's cool. But it's just so neat to have and to see those experiences. And so many people reached out to me, privately and even on the show, that they just they could sense them or smell, something that they used to smell, like whether it was cigarettes or whatever, or perfumes, and objects moving that weren't normally moving. And that was so cool. And so I do believe, December alone, and then there's a lot of astrological events too that back all that too. But I do believe, because again, it's just seemed to keeps ramping up more and more, but it's really a special month, and yes, a lot of people sometimes, when you get to December, they've lost loved ones during the year. So that makes that Christmas a little bit more difficult. But again, but that's those times where those memories solidify. Those are the ones that you remember all the previous ones, and you remember the good times and stuff, and to keep going forward with the good times, because those loved ones don't want you to suffer. And yeah, there is I hate to say it like this, but there is one less empty chair. However, it's not the end. It is not the true end. And that's the one thing that I talk about. Know that you will be reconnected again, and even then you're always connected because they're always around. You just got to ask them to be there for you. So I remember doing, let's see, we did, what else we got? Christmas specials, end of the year. I did an episode on remote viewing, which I know that's always a fun topic. I did one on ancestors as we got into the new year, elementals. Then it looks like I went on a rant, or not a rant, but on a thing of some Q&As, some open discussions because of things that were going on with me. Did near death experiences recently. And yeah, I think that's where we're at. So, yeah, so there were some good ones in this run. And again, I still have a good list of some others, but yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions, either put them in these comments or send me a message privately, and I'll put them on the list. Because again, I have some good ones. I know, and just to read a few of them, I hear, let's see, somebody wanted me to go back over angels again, so that was kind of fun. I have done that in the past, but I think it might have been a year or two that I haven't done angels. Scrying was one. Somebody wanted me to go over tarot because I have talked about that before. Tarot cards. Um, I know a couple of my other Viking-ish uh, brothers and sisters were interested in more Viking mythology type of thing. So that one's going to take me a little bit more to build up because obviously I don't know a lot, and there's still a lot of unknowns with that information. So um, there is some books that I've haven't really touched yet that I want to do, and so I'm hoping to still do that at some point, But again, I want to do that from the more religious belief system side of things. We don't need to talk about all the things that they have said and some of it that's not correct and stuff. So yeah, there's some things that talking about Vikings and things like, because I do have Viking, for those that didn't realize, I do have Scandinavian in my blood, which was when you do the DNA, that was the mystery thing. Um Dallas saying ancestors found at Massachusetts. Dallas, I haven't done it as much. I mean, we can go. I don't, because it hasn't been something that's been super popular with me and some of my clients and stuff. Is to do yeah, right, Dad. Well, Dad, you were even shocked. You and Mom were both shocked when I brought that up. So because DNA doesn't lie. I mean, everything else was correct, but that was that hidden gem. So still don't know what side it was on. I don't know if it's your side or Mom's side. That would be my interesting thing, is like, one of you did it, then we know who was passing it along. So, but but yeah, I mean, what if anything, Della, it would be more like doing like past life regressions. Oh, but you're just saying even from ancestry type of thing as a topic. Yeah, no, I mean that's not a bad idea. I was just thinking for a second there, I was like, what was I thinking? Um, I was thinking of doing a session because like I haven't done it much, but I can past life regression type of things. But yeah, I need to do it a little bit more to feel just a touch more confident in that. But that's awesome. Yeah, so there's that. So I will add that to the list. But yeah, I mean, right. So any other suggestions and things like that, absolutely, hit me up, and we can put them on there. And like I said, it's nice because again, I want these morning shows to be, interactive. I want you guys to, I know some people just sit there and watch, and that's great. So I mean, that's okay. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say hello. Writing and arithmetic. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we want to do that kind of stuff on a Saturday morning. But Margaret saying it would be interesting to do an episode on how things are actually structured. More mainstream religions don't fully reflect on how things actually are. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Another guided. Yeah, I know, Debbie. I did mention something about that, a while ago. I did want to. I wanted to do that. Yeah, it was supposed to be sort of a private thing because obviously I was going to have a little bit of music, and you can't do live music here. It's got to be in private because you get flagged, and then it just be a mess. So it would probably be like a Zoom type of thing. Again, these are all things that are on the list of stuff that I still want to accomplish. Plus, I want to do, I still want to figure out when I could do a live, um, uh, flute meditation for you all. Because that's always fun for me. So I still want to put that on the list this year. I want to do pop-up live reading shows. I still want to get those going again. Will it be a Grateful Dead band? Right? Yeah. I'm a huge history person. I love the family. I have a lot of that's cool, Della. Yeah, it is fun. I love the history stuff and trying to dive back into things, and see what's going on. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of things that that we can hit on. Granted, I probably wouldn't do a guided meditation, on a Saturday morning show. Because again, I just want it to be a discussion. So that would be either a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday type of thing. Or it could be during the week or something. I mean, typically the like a live pop-up reading show has always been, sort of during the week, but occasionally, if it works out scheduling wise, I'll do it on a weekend things. Well, yeah, Debbie, and even then it's so ridiculous. It's not like I'm not getting paid for any of this anyway. So what am I stealing? I'm not getting a cent at all. So I think it's ridiculous that that stuff happens. And I understand it. Okay, I'm a musician too. I have music out there. But a live show that you're not making a dime, I mean, a penny, and what am I what I'm helping you out. It's free advertisement for you. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I just laugh over it. So because even then, the software I use, and we're gonna wrap up here. The software I use is called StreamYard, and the countdown music. So if you guys are there right in the beginning of them, that countdown, the countdown timer and the music, that's StreamYard. StreamYard owns that. Okay. I get to play that. Do you realize how many times now? Thank God it's finally stopped, but people will watch that beginning and flag me for copyright issues. And I have to I have to go back and counter it, being like, you do realize I pay for this service through them and it's their stuff. And then they always unlock it. I'm like, and these are companies that are in different, influencers and stuff like that are in different countries. And I'm just like, you didn't even come close to this, even your stuff. So it's hilarious. So thank God that's kind of stopped, because I think Facebook finally realized what was, I mean, because it was the only thing they would copyright is that music encounter. And I'm like, it's dumb, I mean, come on. It's not. It's clearly it's the same stuff, and I pay for the streaming service. So you got to remember, I'm losing money doing this, but I have an amazing time doing these shows. But yeah, I don't get paid for none of this, so it's ridiculous that free advertising. Come on now. So, and even then, I'm doing relaxation type of stuff anyway. So, Della, let's talk in private. We can go through that. Yeah, you're not right, Dad. Excuse me. Right. I'm not. Here's a laugh. My son called Facebook, called it Fedbook. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting names though. I've heard a lot of them from a lot of people. So, but, yeah. So I'm going to get out of here. We're going to, get on with our Saturdays. Again, I just want to reiterate that there will not be a show. You'll see me post about it this week. There won't be another one next Saturday because I will be in Ann Arbor. So hopefully, if you are in the area, you'll come up and hang out at the event. The money goes to a great cause. And, if you feel like it, you can either swing by the table. If I'm not doing readings, let's chat. If not, if you want a reading, come by. They're going to be shorter because obviously, a lot of people might want readings. I mean, I'm not the only one. So, but yeah, if you want to come out, hang out with us, and all the money goes to a great cause, again, helping animals out in, humane society shelters and things. So yeah. So I'm going to be there next weekend. So no show next week. And then the week after I will be back. Let's just double check it real quick and make sure we're good to go. I think we are. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be good. So I'll be back on the 11th. And we will start season 6, and we'll fire away. Probably that first one might be a little bit of a recap of the Pawtographs event, and just because obviously it'll be a couple of weeks since I've done anything, so we'll see. But right, so I will. Excuse me, coffee. Yeah, it is time to say goodbye. Yeah, for 2 weeks. That's right. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for another great season. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week. And again, hopefully I'll see you guys next Saturday. If not, I will be back, but just keep watching for posts. You're not going to see those stop, and let me know what's going on. Tell me if anything else that you guys are up to or anything. Yeah, anything. Let me know what's going on. So, all righty. So that's going to wrap up season 5. Thank you so much for being here. This has been the Mid-Morning Medium Chat Show. I am Adam, the Black Swamp Medium. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting. And I will see you guys in post super soon. And yet I'll see you again live in a couple of weeks. Take care. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Thanks, and see you soon.